Hi there and welcome to Living Lotus Yoga. I'm Carole and today I'll be taking you through a Mat Pilates sequence. This sequence mainly focuses on strengthening and toning your upper and lower body with extra focus on spinal rotation and deeper oblique or side body activation. No equipment needed for this class other than yourself and your mat. And I think you might see in this particular sequence that we don't always need to be moving super fast to have a really effective core workout. So get yourself ready and I'll meet you on the mat. Okay, so let's get started. First of all, just bring yourself into an easy seated pose, so however that might look for you, and you can always go ahead and prop your seat if you would like to. Just resting your hands on your knees or your thighs. Roll your shoulders down your back, and you can close the eyes here if you'd like to. We're going to begin just by taking 3 big grounding breaths, just to settle ourselves in and get ready for practice. One more time, take a deep breath in through your nose. Sigh this one out through the mouth. Go ahead and open your eyes. We'll inhale the arms all the way up and overhead, lengthen. And on your exhale, float your arms down nice and wide, just becoming as wide as you can. Inhale, you're going to lengthen all the way up, palms together this time. And then just exhale them down in front. And let's begin with our first warm-up exercise. So for this, all you're going to do is ground your seat down onto the mat. Feet will come down in front of you. And we will keep the feet about hip distance apart here. Then just bringing your hands slightly below the knees. You're going to tuck your chin into your chest and start to lean it back. So you're lengthening through the arms. And we're going to hold here for a couple of deep breaths. And just feeling this nice stretch for the back of the shoulders, the back of the neck, even down the spine and into the hips. And one more. And on your next inhale, you're going to come up through a straight spine, all the way forward, lean with your heart, start to arch slightly through the back, gazing up to the ceiling, and we'll take 3 big breaths here. Breathing all the way down into your belly, and letting it go. One more, inhale deeply, and exhale. And let's put those 2 together. So on your next exhale, you're going to round through the spine, lengthen the arms, tuck your chin into your chest. And on your inhale, lift with the heart as you come forward. Breathing out and breathing in. One more. And then just bring it back to a nice neutral spine. So we'll start to add a little bit more on and wake the core up slightly. So drawing your navel into your spine, nice engaged, tight core. This time on your inhale, you're going to sweep your arms nice and wide, lift your heart. And on your exhale, you're going to start to lean it back, reaching the hands out in front of you. You'll start to feel the abdominals, the core fire up. Inhale, open and lift. Exhale, lean. Inhale to lift. Exhale to lean. Maybe a little bit further this time. Again, lifting and leaning. One more. And then just bring it up, nice straight spine. Go ahead and draw the soles of the feet together, the knees coming nice and wide. So instead of folding or hinging at the hips here, we're going to try and round through the spine slightly. So bringing your hands to your feet, tuck your chin to your chest again, and just start to round through the spine as you drop your head forward. Couple of breaths. And then just bringing it up nice and tall. Bring your feet flat to the mat, your knees together. And it can be nice sometimes here to just press either side of the thighs as a nice counter pose from that gentle hip opener. And now we'll bring it down onto our backs. So we'll go ahead and bring ourselves down onto our mat. We'll start with a modified roll down to get down. So what we're going to do is bring your hands behind your thighs, tucking your chin and engaging your core, navel into spine. Start to lean it back. Now, the closer your back comes to the mat, you're going to start to walk your hands down the back of your thighs, really using the support there of the legs. And when you get down, just bringing your arms by your sides with your palms down and rock the knees a few times from side to side. Then knees back to the ceiling. Go ahead, walk your feet closer to your seat. Keep your feet about hip distance apart here. We're going to come into a few pelvic lifts. Difference between this and your more traditional bridge pose is that we're not going to lift quite as high as we would in bridge right now. So drawing your navel in. As you begin to lift your pelvis away from the mat, you're going to focus from the tailbone. Press through the heels of your feet, lifting the tailbone and then rolling up the spine to the very base of your shoulder blades, and then rolling the spine back down from the base of the shoulder blades all the way down to your tailbone. We'll do that again. We'll inhale to lift up, and we'll exhale to come down. So it's not a very big lift. Remember, we are still warming the body up. We'll do one more of these. And bringing yourself down, just gently rock the knees, and we're going to come into the 100. So I'm going to offer you a few variations. You can keep the feet grounded to the mat here. You're going to float your arms down by your sides, palms facing the mat, and then you're going to start to lift up, curl up to the base of your shoulder blades as if your hands are reaching for the bottom of your mat, and you can tuck your chin to your chest here. We'll be pumping the arms. So we can keep the feet grounded. Or if we want to, we'll bring the feet up off of the mat. Keep a nice bend in the knees. We're going to hold it here. If it's in your practice to strengthen or straighten out your legs, go ahead and do that. So 3 variations for the legs, wherever you are. We'll begin inhaling for 5 and exhaling for 5. So just keeping it going, squeezing your core, as if you're trying to get your belly button to meet your spine. Reaching for the bottom of your mat. Here we're just over halfway. Keep reaching, keep lifting. If you're feeling like you could add on just a little bit more here, go ahead and lengthen your legs to the ceiling. So let's say 10 more. And bring it down. Head to the mat, knees into your chest. Just hold for a moment in stillness. Take a deep breath. Sigh it out. And then you can bring your hands to the back of your thighs. You can rest your hands on your shins. We're just going to circle the knees a few times. And bringing it back into center. Let's lengthen our right leg down to the bottom of the mat and send our left leg up towards the ceiling. So support your left leg here and just point the toes and then flex the foot. Point the toes, flex the foot. Again, point and flex. And then we'll just let the foot rest slightly. So we're going to come into a few leg circles here. But before we do that, bring your arms nice and wide, palms down. So what I want to do here is just take the left leg, we'll point the toes, and guide it over to the right side of the body, and then slowly pull it back into center. So we guide the leg across and pull it back. And that's it. As you're doing this, really focusing in on the core, the navel's drawing into the spine. And as you're pulling your leg back, you should start to feel your side body, your oblique muscles firing here. That's what we're trying to target. That's what we're using to pull the leg back into center. So we'll inhale to send the leg over. We'll exhale to bring it back. 2 more like that. 1 more. Now holding your leg right where it is, let's take that into leg circles. So we're going to begin these leg circles by sending the leg across the body. So your leg will come over to the right. Your left hip here will lift. That's okay, because as we send the leg down towards the bottom of the mat and then back up and around, we're going to use the obliques to drop ourselves back into center and draw the leg back up. So across, down and around, and back up into center. So we're going to do 1 more. Then we're going to guide the leg all the way back up. And we're going to switch direction. So you're going to send your leg wide, down, around, and then pulling it back into center. One more. And bring the knee into the chest. Just drawing the leg as close as is comfortable for you. Give it a nice big hug. Take a deep breath. And send your left leg all the way down. We'll come over onto the right side. So begin by extending your right leg to the ceiling. Support your leg to begin. And again, we're going to point and flex the foot. And we'll bring our hands down by our sides. So pointing through the right toes. Same thing, we're going to take the leg over to the left side and then draw it back into center. Over to the left and drawing it back into center. So keep that going. So you'll notice with these 2 exercises, the leg circles and this little back and forth with our leg, we're targeting both our hip flexors, great hip flexor strength here, as well as the obliques. So we'll take this into leg circles. So again, begin by dropping the leg over and across the body. Your right hip here is going to lift slightly. Send the leg down, around, and back up and into center. We'll bring the leg up and we'll take it the other way. So the leg's going to go wide, down, across, and up. So this will be our last one. Bringing it up and drawing the knee in, giving it a nice big hug, big breath, and sending your leg down to the bottom of the mat. Inhale to reach your arms up and overhead, take a full body stretch, and then exhale, float your arms back down by your sides. We'll actually bring the arms slightly wider here with our palms down. Walk your feet up onto the mat. And from here, we'll bring our feet up off of the mat and we're going to squeeze our legs together, squeezing the thighs as hard as you can, bringing them right beside each other. Draw the belly button in and exhale here. Inhale, drop the knees down to one side. Doesn't matter which side. And then exhale, draw it back up into center. Inhale to drop to the other side. Exhale, back up into center. So again, we're using those side body muscles to guide the legs and the hips back to that neutral center point. So as you're coming in and out of your twists, we're going to be working towards dropping the shoulder blades down into the mat, trying to encourage the shoulders not to lift up. And we're still squeezing the legs together. We'll do once more either side. And bring it up. Bring it in. Winding pose. Hands resting on the shins or the back of the thighs. Big breath in and out. Inhale, lift your head, nose to knees, and bring it down. Inhale, lift. And exhale, lower. Now bringing your hands to the back of your thighs. Rock and roll up and down your spine and come up to seated. And just bringing your feet out in front of you here, we're actually going to lengthen the legs, even bringing the legs slightly outside of your mat. So we've got a bit more of a wide-legged seat here. Ground your sit bones. And then all we're going to do is begin with a nice spinal stretch. So you're going to interlace your fingers, let the arms pull forward, drop your chin to your chest, and curl the spine. Don't fold forward, even leaning back slightly. Curling through the spine, getting a nice stretch there. And then bringing it up, nice and tall. And we'll take this into our saw. So you might even want to widen your stance a little bit or your legs a little bit. Again, pressing the heels down, ground down the sit bones. Sit nice and tall and roll your shoulders down your back. So your arms are coming wide. We're going to take opposite hand to opposite foot. And then we'll fold forward. As you come into this fold here, you can bring your hand either to your thigh, to your shin, or if it's in your practice, maybe you can even reach to the outside of the toes and then come back up, around, and other side. Inhale, exhale. Now don't forget to keep your core engaged. We'll do once more to either side. And bringing it back up to center. Bring your hands down by your hips. Go ahead and bring your legs right beside each other this time. You're going to start to squeeze the legs together, press the heels down, and keep your core nice and strong. Tall spine. Shoulders rolling down the back. Interlace your fingers, hammock hands, and bring that to the back of the head. Keep your elbows opening nice and wide here. And all you're going to do, little spinal rotation over to one side. Come back. And another side. And back. So it's not a big movement, but it's a very effective one. As you press your heels down, And keep squeezing your thighs together. We'll exhale, twist, inhale, center. Exhale, twist, inhale, center. One more, and center. So this time we're going to bring it into a little bit more of a pulse. So we'll inhale here. We'll exhale. 1, 2. Inhale. Exhale. 1, 2. One more. And center. Soften your legs a little bit, give them a little shake out. Then go ahead again and widen your seat or your legs, heels pressing down, just as wide as your mat. And we'll bring the arms nice and wide again. So we're thinking about that saw motion as we twist over to one side. Only when you come to your twist, you're going to lean it back and lean it up. Around, lean it back, and lean it up. And that's it. So again, core is nice and strong. And around. So a modification here. Bring this bottom hand down, lean it back, and bring it forward. Reaching through the fingertips of your extended hand to pull you back up. So we'll do once more either side. And we'll come to center. Hands down and shake out the legs, nice and soft. Bring the feet up onto the mat, just below the knees here. Inhale to lift, just like we started. And exhale, lean it back, get some length through the arms. Inhale to lift. And exhale to lean. One more lift. And lean. Sitting up tall. Coming back onto our back again. So this time we'll come to a roll down. But instead of using the thighs, if you'd like to, reach out in front of you. Shoulders drawing onto the back. Tuck your chin to your chest. Squeeze your core, navel to spine. Slowly, slowly, slowly come all the way down onto your back. Keep reaching for the bottom of your mat through your fingers. All the way down. And then just rock your legs from side to side. Scoot back onto your mat if you've come off it. And take a moment. Big breath in and out. So let's come into our single leg stretch. Draw your left leg in. Left hand just above the left ankle. Right hand just resting on the inside of the knee. We're going to lengthen our right leg, point the toes. We're going to bring our right leg more in a 45. And then we're just going to switch. So left hand to the inside of the right knee. Right hand just above the right ankle. And back. That's it. If you want a little bit more, go ahead, lift it up. And hold that upper abdominal crunch as you work the legs. So we'll start to pick up the pace a little bit. Squeezing the core. Nearly there. Last one, each side. And bring it in, head down. Big breath. And out. Breathe in, lift your head. And out. Breathe in. And out. Go ahead, interlace your fingers. Bring your hammock hands to the back of your head. And from here, We're going to bring it into what looks more like a traditional bicycle exercise so that we can keep targeting the side body. So we're going to lengthen the right leg again, point the toes, left knees drawing in. We're going to come up and then just twist across and then bring it down, switch the legs, and the same thing. That's it. So as you're doing this, I don't want you to think about speed, but more form. Keeping the elbows nice and wide. Using the core to lift you up. So head presses firmly into the hands. Inhale to the mat. Exhale to lift. Once more. Switch it up. And bring it down. Feet to the mat this time. Release your hands, rock your knees. Breathe in. And out. And go ahead and roll over onto your left side here. So we're going to lengthen our legs and we're going to support our head with our left hand. So think about reclining on a nice beach somewhere and get yourself nice and comfy. Take your right hand out in front for a little bit of stability. Settle in. And when you're ready, let's go ahead and get started. So top leg, pointing the toes on the right leg, trying to keep the hips stacked here. What we're going to do is rotate the thigh so that it's open, so your knee comes more to the ceiling, and then rotate the thigh closed, so your knee starts to tilt more towards the bottom of the mat. Open the thigh, close the thigh. Rotate open, rotate closed. That's it. Couple more. Start to engage and squeeze through the right glute. You're probably going to start to feel that one firing pretty soon. And then find center. So we're going to keep working with that rotation. You'll rotate the thigh open and you'll take your heel and tap it in front. And then you're going to point the toes as you rotate the thigh closed and tap the toes behind you. Rotate open, heel tap front. Rotate closed, toe tap behind. And that's it. Exhale to tap. Inhale and exhale. Let's do once more in front, once more behind, center, and just let your leg rest. Come up onto your forearm here. You can either stack your legs, we're going to lift the bottom hip up and away, or we can lengthen the top leg if we like, or if it's in your practice, you can come up into your full side plank, but we are going to stay on the forearm for a little bit more shoulder strength. Right hand ceiling. I'm going to thread it through. In, out. Halfway. Last one. Bring it down. Let's come all the way up to sitting on our side. Bring your right hand to your toes. Take your left arm all the way to the ceiling. Find some length. And then release into your side stretch. Deep breath in. And out. And you'll take your left hand all the way down to the ground. We'll just take that to the other side. Right hand to the ceiling. Find the length first. And then enjoy that nice release, that nice side stretch. And bring it up. And we're just going to flip that right over onto the other side. So scoot your feet around to the other side. Come down to laying on your right. And again, we're going to use our hand to support our head. Stacking your hips. Left hand can come out in front for a little bit more stability. And what you're going to do from here is point the toes on the left foot, lift your left leg, and we're just rotating the thigh open again, and then rotating the thigh closed. Rotating your thigh open, knees more to the ceiling, and rotating the thigh closed as your knee points down. Let's do that a few more times just so we can tune into this movement, isolating this movement here. Feeling the left glute starting to fire up. Okay, so we'll come into our taps. We'll rotate the thigh open, we'll take the heel, tap it down in front. We'll rotate the thigh closed, point the toes, tap them down behind. Rotate open, heel tap. Rotate closed, toe tap. Let's keep that going. So you might even be able to pick up the pace a little bit. But again, remember, there's nothing wrong with taking things slow. Sometimes when we slow the movement down, we're actually starting to incorporate a little bit more strength. So let's do one more in front, one more behind, and stack the legs, let them rest. Bend the knees, and again, come up onto your forearm. So with your knees bent, lift your bottom hip up and away from the mat. Again, you can lengthen your top leg, or if it's in your practice and you want to come up into your side plank, go ahead, all the way up. We're keeping the forearm down. Left arm to the ceiling and thread it through. Inhale, exhale. Halfway. Last one. And bring it down. Come all the way up, sitting on your side, left hand to your toes, right arm ceiling, and side stretch. Take that release. And come all the way up. Let's bring our right hand down, left hand to the ceiling, and take your nice release to the side. And all the way up. So from here, we're going to take it onto tabletop. For your tabletop, bring your knees underneath your hips, about hip distance apart, and you're going to set your hands ever so slightly ahead of your shoulders. It's just a bit kinder for the wrist joint. So from here, we're going to bring it into a thoracic twist. So that's a twist where we're focusing on just the upper back here. We're trying to keep the hip points down towards the mat. So again, we're trying to isolate that movement here in the side body. So let's start by bringing our left fingertips behind our left ear, elbow to the side. So we're going to inhale, see if we can lift that elbow up, and then we're going to exhale and bring it back. So it's not a big movement. Opening and closing. And you'll also notice as you do this, you're starting to really strengthen and work the right shoulder at the same time. So keeping as much as you can those hip points facing down. One more. Bring your left hand down. Take your right hand, a few wrist circles, and then bring your right fingertips behind your right ear. We'll do the same thing on this side. Elbow to the ceiling and down. Let's do one more. And down. Bring your right hand down. A few circles for the left wrist. And then we're just going to come into a nice gentle shoulder release. So let's begin left arm ceiling, and then take your left hand, thread it through the right side, travel all the way down onto your left shoulder, right hand out in front, but grounded down. If you want to, you can keep your seat lifted. If it's in your practice or it's more comfortable, drop your seat down. Inhale, press through the right palm. Draw up, exhale here. Inhale, other side. Exhale, thread it through. Set up shoulder release for this side. Again, seat lifted or grounding down. Whatever is more comfortable. Take this moment for a release and a few deep breaths. Root through the left hand, inhale up. Exhale to table. From here, walk your hands slightly ahead of you. You're going to shift your weight forward, squeeze the glutes, press through the fingertips. It might be more comfortable to go ahead and lift the feet, hug the elbows in, and slowly, slowly bring yourself all the way down, belly to the mat. Then lengthen your legs, adjust if you need to. And from here, reach your arms out in front of you, point your toes, drop your head down towards the mat. So what this is going to look like, you're going to inhale, come up, going to float the left arm and sweep it down and around behind you and gaze over the left shoulder, and then just bring it back up and down. Inhale, lift with the right arm, sweep. Exhale, bring it back and down. Again. Left. Right. Okay. Once more like that on each side, and then we'll add a bit more. So come down to the mat. And this time, we're going to add a little bit more on. So you're welcome to stay right there with what we were doing. But if you would like to, inhale, bring everything up. Feet and arms. Sweep the left arm round. Bring it back. And everything down. Inhale up. Right arm, sweep and gaze. Top of the mat and down. Okay, once more each side. And down. Rest here for a moment. Stack your hands if you'd like, forehead on top. Soften through your back, through your glutes, through your shoulders. And then lifting your head. Hands under the shoulders, slowly press up. Send your seat all the way back to your heels. Let's find child pose briefly. Ground down. Enjoy that release for your low back. You might even like to take a rock from side to side here. Breathe in. And out. Lift your head just a little. Walk your hands around to the left, come into a side stretch. Press through your right palm and lean into your right hip. And then come through center, around to the other side. And all the way back into center. And just walk your hands back towards you. Inhale, reach. Sitting on your heels, exhale, draw down. Go ahead, scoot your feet around in front. Bring your seat down onto the mat. Almost there. We're going to take another roll down. So we're either reaching out in front or we use the support of our thighs. Slowly roll it down. Tuck your chin to your chest. Squeeze through the core. And down. Big breath. Walk your feet closer to your seat again. Keep the feet about hip distance apart. We're going to end right where we started with a few of those pelvic lifts. So palms down beside you. Tuck your chin slightly. Press through the soles of your feet. Engage your core. Inhale, lift your pelvis up and away, starting at the tailbone all the way up to the base of your shoulders. And then wave your spine down to the very bottom of your spine, the tailbone. Inhale, wave it up. Exhale, wave it down. 2 more. One more. And down. And from here, bring your hands to your belly. Maybe you would like to widen your feet and just let the knees rest in. They can support each other there. Or if you're more comfortable, you can lengthen your legs down to the bottom of the mat. Wherever you are, get yourself nice and comfortable. And we're just going to take a few moments to come back to our breath. We'll actually use a little bit of breath work or a very simple breathing exercise to close your class. So inhaling through your nose to the count of 4. Pausing. And then just exhaling through your nose to the count of 4. And again, pausing. And we'll repeat that pattern in for 4. Pause. Out for 4. Pause. And keep it going. And just allowing yourself this time to soak up all the benefits from your class. All that good work that you've done. And maybe even taking a moment to thank yourself for dedicating this time for you, this important time for self-care. Thanking your body for all that it's done and all that it does. Knowing that you're perfect just as you are. So I invite you, if you have the time, to maybe rest here a little bit longer and continue with this breath work. When you're ready, you can gently guide yourself out of this simple breathing exercise by bringing a little bit of movement back into your fingers and your toes, even a simple wiggle of the fingers and toes. And guiding yourself back up to an easy seat. So thank you so much for joining me today for your class. If you enjoyed this class or you enjoy any of the other content that I'm making, please consider liking and subscribing to the channel. But from me to you, and from our practice today, thank you so much. Namaste.